So again, an amazing history, and it looks as if we are going to be able to continue. More of that later. But I'm just going to hand over to Liz now, who can bring us up to date with where we are and where we're going.
Where we've been. No, Barbara's done the where we've been.
Thank you, Barbara.
It's kind of like standing out of the line of that video thing, because I hate being filmed. I'm only going to speak for a few minutes because we've got the singing group. Anne's come all the way over from Liverpool, and I know members of the singing group are here to do a performance for us. And John, who sat there, has written a poem especially for our 20th birthday, so I don't want to take the time up. And we need time for tea and cake. That's really important. So don't worry, there will be time to go back through, look at the photos again, and have a brew and a natter. But I just wanted to say a few words, and when I was sort of racking my brains after coming back from holiday and getting settled in as to what to say, I was thinking, well, I could say did you know we have over 20 different ways of supporting people, and some of them are written up on the board over there: activities, therapies, counselling, groups, courses, etc., etc. But, you know, could list those, not very interesting just as a list. I could say we feel justifiably a bit smug that we've taken a whole person approach right from the start 20 years ago, and now finally the health service and social care is sort of just starting to catch up with us. Or I could say that at any one time we support over 250 people, which for a small organisation I think is incredible. But while I was trying to think, how should I, and I thought, well, what we say to members when they're feeling anxious about speaking is speak from the heart. Speak about what you feel about. And I thought, well, what do I feel about the centre? What's at the heart of the centre? And people talk about it when they walk through that door. They said it feels like family. It feels like community. It feels like somewhere where I can be me. So I just thought of some different ways that the centre is community for people. It was the basis of the centre from day one, the idea that it should be a community, that there shouldn't be sort of experts and patients or people telling you what to do and people following orders, that it's everyone in it together. That thinking about when we moved to the new building, wow, we kept the service going, albeit on a part-time basis. We got this building from not a great state to what it is today. Huge amount of work went into it. That would not happen unless the community was committed to the work that we did here, and everyone pulled together, members, volunteers, staff, trustees, all came together to make it work under quite trying circumstances, and I cheered you on from the sidelines for some of the time when I was off. So I mean that to me was amazing. Barbara mentioned before about our volunteers. I had a look the other day for something I was writing, and about 40% of our volunteers have come from being members. So they want to give something back to our community, they want to be part of our community in a different way and come through. And also quite a few of our staff and trustees have lived experience of mental health issues. So again, it really is that we're walking this journey together. It's not that we're sort of just learnt something from a book. We're in it together. 5 ways to well-being. One of those is connect, and we make sure at the centre that we have different ways of connecting with each other. So we have the social cafe sessions, we have the Saturday night group, which I think a lot of services don't provide something sort of out of hours like that. We have a lot of activities where you might be doing an art activity, but you're chatting to each other and connecting. And I have a quote from someone who went to the Saturday night group who said, I like coming to the Saturday night group because I've made new friends and they give great advice and support. And we recognise that everyone has something important to say to each other here. Everyone has something to give as well as something to gain from coming to the centre, and that's community. We link with the wider community. Again, when we moved, we had donations from a local paint shop, from flooring places, from local shops, from local banks, places like that. We have the groups of young people who come in over the summer and work with us and sort of understand what we do. We have students who come on placement. Our staff have gone out and given training to other places as well, like Job Centre Plus and Berry Adult Education, and ADAB we've worked with, which is the Asian Association, so that we can spread the message about what we do, and hopefully the wider community can start to feel, do you know what, it's all right to talk about mental well-being, it's all right to talk about mental health. And some of you might have noticed since last December, we've been doing this an awful lot. and keeping not just fingers, toes, everything crossed, because you may have heard of the National Lottery. There's a piece of National Lottery called Reaching Communities, and that's about projects that make communities stronger, makes them more vibrant, makes people more included in their communities, makes people more active in their communities. So I thought, well, okay, we're a community. We do a lot of work for the community, you know, with our local communities. Barbara's handing out, you lot on the front row have now become volunteers for this bit of the speech, because we're going to have to somehow get you to twizz round and hold up
You hold the black one
right.
to the back.
This should work. So that for now, the black one to the back, because we found out, and I'll get it the right way round if we can read it. Thank you. We found out a couple of weeks ago. We found out a couple of weeks ago that a bid that I started working on nearly a year ago, believe it or not, had been successful to the big lottery. And if we now twizz the bits of paper round to the other side, you'll see how much for, which is nearly £250,000. So we're absolutely delighted. And when it's like I've been working on it, I couldn't have done it without the community, the team. Do you remember I was asking for quotes in the centre meetings, asking you to complete surveys, asking for information? Staff have given me information and quotes and things, and all that the lottery have obviously recognised. We're a community that's worth supporting, and we're going to carry on with that. We're now secure for at least the next 3 years because of that funding. And we're also going to be able to start... We're going to be able to start a new area of work called Take Part, so that people who want to go out and do things more in the community but maybe feel a bit anxious about, well, I don't know if I want to go on the tram on my own, or I don't know if I want to walk into a new group on my own or something like that, we're going to have some support where we can go out with people and help with that as well as the work that we do here at the centre. So more about that to follow. I'm not going to go into great details here. So we will be carrying on, and we will be expanding, and we'll be making sure that mental well-being is a priority for all. It's really important for everyone. So that's my speech over and done with. John, can I hand over to you to read your poem that you've written specially for the centre?
Well, the microphone's a bit low, but I'm sure you'll hear me. Neil. Neil, yeah. I'm not saying this is brilliant, but it's from the heart. Our centre here in Prestwich, the wonderful CLC, is a place of health and healing where many love to be. People come for miles for the laughter and the smiles, therapies galore, good advice and more. Whatever your problem, tired and depressed, unable to rest, there's no place like CLC. Acupuncture, aromatherapy, art, counselling, creative writing, gardening, yoga and more. Relaxation, meditation, mindfulness. You may well find ways to quieten the mind and learn ways to cope to give you hope. The staff are really friendly. Many are volunteers, helpful and welcoming, always understanding. There's a hot cooked meal almost every day from the kitchen in the Sunshine Cafe. We think that CLC is one of the best, better than the rest. Why not give it a try?
For a couple of minutes, who wants to say a few words?
Right. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming today for the 20th birthday celebration. Thank you to everyone who's been involved with the celebration in one form or another. And over the last 20 years, past and present, it wouldn't have carried on for as long if it wasn't for the people. Whilst we look forward to another 20 years, sometimes we need to look back at the positives, and the centre's always been about people. Whether you've been a member, volunteer, trustee, member of staff. So today I wish to thank a person who has been here from the beginning, who has been with us at the centre as a volunteer, therapist and trustee, just to name a few. Don't look at me like that, Barbara. She has given so much to the life of the centre. I would say one of her great qualities is she can relate to anybody, whether it be at the Queen's Garden party or with us here. So she has given so much in care, support and loyalty to the centre. One last thing before she goes red too much, and I embarrass her again. Barbara has basically helped me through different things, and I just want to thank her for that, and I'm sure she's helped a lot of you. So before I go on any more, if I can ask my good assistant over here, come on Brian, you're coming up, and come on Barbara. And just one last thing, can we have 3 rousing cheers for Barbara? Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
Hooray! Can you make those for the centre as well, please? Hooray! Hooray! It has been a privilege to have been here for that long, and it's not something that I will forget very easily. In fact, the hardest thing to do is actually to walk out of the door sometimes. But thank you for being here, and here's to our future as well. And again, as both Liz and Rebecca have said, without you lot, we wouldn't exist. So thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask everyone just to bear with me for 1 second while I ask Anne, what's the best way logistically of you getting the music group together? Is it better if people go out and come in again in a little while, or what do you want